Hi all! So a while ago on YouTube, I stumbled down a wormhole of small kitchen appliance reviews. As I was looking to buy an air fryer and perhaps maybe a pressure cooker, that's when I stumbled across one of the worst YouTube chefs of all time. His name is Jack Scalfani, as I like to call him, Jack Salmonella Scalfani. I watch video after video of him butcher, sometimes quite literally, recipes. Imagine driving slowly past a multi-car pileup on the interstate. That's my face as I watched him teach the internet how to make partially cooked meals of varying types and taking awful and unneeded shortcuts to recipes that are already quick to prepare. The absolute horror of Jack's lazy man chefing, air quote, techniques to my boyfriend Tom. And now, since we can't unsee it, we are opening your eyes to it as well. I'm Michelle, and I welcome you to join us for this horrific journey, better known as Pink Chicken and the Lazy Man.
Okay, everybody, so I'm boyfriend Tom. I am the Lazy Man, and we are with Michelle here, the Pink Chicken Lady. And we are watching a Cooking with Jack video. Michelle, tell the audience what we're watching.
We are watching our first episode that we selected, the Hamilton Beach FlexBrew Second Chance review, which was released 1 week ago. It's got about 3,300 views, about 12 minutes and 33 seconds long. His first chance review was about 2 years ago when he took the first whack at this. I don't know if it's the same box. I don't know if he bought a new one. I don't know what the deal is. I would assume that this is the newer model of it, but it doesn't seem like he's following the directions for the product. So we're gonna sit here and react a little bit to his video and see what we can discern from what's going on here.
For someone who proffers themselves as a YouTube chef, which actually he doesn't say that he is. He says he's a YouTube personality that does cooking shows. But part of offering yourself, even saying that, saying, well, I'm a YouTube celebrity with cooking shows, means you know something about cooking. Maybe you worked in a restaurant, maybe you worked in the restaurant industry.
As far as I know, based on reading some other stuffs on the internet, I think his last profession was a radio DJ, and so he's trying to build a media company off of something that he thinks would take off, which I guess is YouTube, and is using cooking as a means of doing this. Which is fine as long as your goal is not to kill someone, which many of his videos, unfortunately, maybe indirectly try to do.
So he's trying to cash in on the YouTube thing, and it's kind of like if I decided I wanted to become a zookeeper by watching a lot of cute animal videos, and then I just either go into a zoo and go into the lion's cage, or gorilla enclosure, or I begin ordering animals like that, setting up a camera and being like, okay, I bought this venomous snake off of eBay, because you can do that, I imagine you can, and being like, now, because I've watched enough snake handling videos on YouTube, I've watched these for a couple years now, and I know that the snake handling videos get tons of views. I'm just going to open up the snake cage now, and oh my god, why did I get bit? It's kind of like that.
Yeah, free Harambe.
Yeah.
But, so unfortunately, Jack boasts in this particular video that he has 100 plus product reviews. I'm not really sure how many cooking videos he has, but he's been doing this for over 10 years according to his YouTube channel. So, praise Jesus. Yeah, I don't know if he's a fundy. I'm not really sure what's going on here, but and that's not to say I'm not religious or spiritual, but it gets a little strange when the waters get a little muddied with
It's how randomly he throws it in.
Yeah.
Like at the beginning, at the end of every video, he's like, I will pray for my viewers.
Yeah. But then he tries to kill them by showing people how to cook undercooked chicken, or don't cook undercooked chicken, I guess. I really don't know, but...
Well, he pretends to want to be reaching out to his audience, but at the same time, he disables comments in every social media platform that will allow him to disable comments.
Correct.
mostly to silence the people who are trying to give him valid culinary criticism.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Jack, that chicken is still pink. Jack, that beef is too rare. Jack, you are cross-contaminating everything. Everything. You are not following safe food handling procedures.
Yeah, I don't think people are trying to shit on him, but so much as give him like, hey, I've worked in the industry, here's my criticism, here's how you can better yourself. Yeah, I don't know what that's about. I don't know if he's just fragile as a human being, or I don't know, unable to take criticism, basic constructive criticism. But so we're into the video now a little bit further, and we're at the point where he's testing out the carafe version of the FlexBrew, and he very clearly is using a YouTube branded coffee mug to test out his coffee that he's just brewed. And he's ranting and raving about how great the coffee is and how good it is on the carafe side. I don't know. I feel like this is not a YouTube mug that he's got from YouTube. It's something he's made on his own from like Cafe Press or Zazzle.
Well, clearly it's the old YouTube logo.
Oh,
YouTube changed its logo. It put the red TV screen with the play button to the side, and it was just using YouTube in all black on white.
Ooh, good point.
Lettering.
It kind of looks a little blocky too. Like it's not. I don't know.
It wasn't properly aligned.
Yes, thank you. It wasn't resized properly or whatever. One other thing we wanted to point out here while we're going through the Keurig version of this video review is that Jack has very cheap taste in coffee.
He got a Kcup holder that he himself has a Keurig single brew Kcup based coffee maker, and he's showing his Kcup rack, as most people who have Keurigs have Kcup racks by their machines. His rack is filled with coffee that is not the premium versions. He has ones here, there's a V on it. I'm not sure what company that is, but those are the ones you get, like, you know, the case of 100 for $7.99 at Ollie's Bargain Basement. Oh, that's the other thing. He's doing a product review. Okay, we want to do a product review. That's great. You want to tell the audience about the product, tell them its pros and cons of a coffee maker. Okay, what does coffee makers do? Well, they brew coffee. Well, the thing you want to tell somebody in a product review about a coffee maker is how good or bad the coffee tastes. So you would think if you're trying to give people the unadulterated version of the coffee maker, you would not use flavored coffee. You would use coffee-flavored coffee. Just regular coffee that you would buy in the grocery store. Not too fancy, not too plain. Not going to go to Dollar Tree and get the sketchy brand. You're going to go just, Folgers, Maxwell House, some brand name, nationally recognized coffee. Because that's what most people at home are going to use. Jack has chosen to use, and he has not shown which brand he's using, a flavored coffee. He didn't say what flavor, he didn't say what brand. So, in the first outing. So we have no idea what the coffee actually tastes like. Vanilla cream, Irish cream, hazelnut, who has an idea? But we just know it's not coffee flavored coffee, and he's commenting on the taste. No other product reviewer would do that, because you're trying to tell people, okay, in the most empirical way I can give you a review about a coffee maker, this is the coffee it makes. You're supposed to be using coffee-flavored coffee.
Right, well, you're using a static, and then you have the variable. But you want the same flavor for the review to be on a level playing field, and you're changing it up by brewing a flavored coffee versus a plain coffee. You don't know how strong it's going to be, because obviously the flavored coffee is flavored coffee. So
even on this machine, because again, the whole purpose of the Hamilton Beach FlexBrew coffee maker, or FlexBrew coffee maker, is to make a pot of a carafe of coffee or a single serve cup of coffee using a Kcup or its own included single serve basket. He doesn't. I can't imagine he uses the same type of coffee in both sides of the same machine, so he can't even tell carafe versus Kcup in this machine because he's not using the same coffee.
True, and the other thing too here is I don't think he's read the directions at this point. Like, I don't know at what point here we realize fully, I mean, that he hasn't read the directions, but we're getting to the point where it's getting close that he's getting angry about things not working the way that he thinks they're going to work. Like, we sat and we watched a couple other reviews before we commented on this specific review of his. We know that there's two tanks. There's a tank for the carafe, there's a tank for the FlexBrew Keurig section. I don't know that he knows that at this point. I'm not really sure. But he's talking...
what we're sure he doesn't know is that there is actually a keep warm button that he was trying to brew he's now trying to brew on the single serve side. He already made a carafe of coffee and dumped it all out. But there's still some moisture left in the carafe.
Oh,
but he has
okay.
not turned off the keep warm feature, because the keep warm feature of the Hamilton Beach FlexBrew will keep the carafe of coffee warm for 2 hours even after it's done its brewing cycle.
Good point. Yes, but
and this angers him because he's like, "Oh my God, I chose the single serve side, but the carafe is on."
And apparently, you can only have one going at a time. Like, you can't have both going at the same time, which I wouldn't have realized was a thing. But apparently, if you read the directions, that is a thing that is very clear. So he reviews this. He's very visibly perturbed at the end of the video. He ends the video on a sour note, like, hey, this doesn't do what I want, I'm taking it back to the store kind of thing. And apparently he bought it from Kohl's. I know Kohl's was having some kind of Black Friday sale, because I actually looked at buying this for Tom, because Tom loves coffee. I'm sorry, the lazy man loves coffee.
Coffee loves me too.
Coffee loves him too. But he stops the video and then he starts it up again and continues on his rant about how angry he is about not necessarily the carafe side. He seems like okay about the carafe side, but he's very, very upset about the Keurig side. He's like, I'm going to have to dump it upside down and put more water in it, keep feeding water through it to get to the size that I want, blah, 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 blah. And every other review we've read or seen, I'm sorry, not read, have shown that if you just follow the directions and press the right buttons and do the appropriate things, you're going to get the size of coffee out of it that you want to get out of it. So I'm not really sure what he's done wrong here. My guess would be he's not read the directions is like the first and foremost thing. But what's interesting is, because this video is about to end, we're reacting as it's on the TV right now. The interesting thing that happens right after this video is released is that he releases another video for a similar type of product, but that Keurig puts out. And so now I think we're gonna...
he's on the electric cord. He was very disappointed by the shortness, the short length of the electric cord that comes with the
that's right. I forgot
Hamilton Beach FlexiBrew.
all about that. Yes.
Now he did
right.
not measure it. We in other professional product review channels that we've watched of the Hamilton Beach FlexBrew, people have noticed that it's only a 24-inch cord, which isn't that unusual because, again, this is going on your kitchen countertop, and your kitchen countertop should have a plethora of outlets available to it. And you don't want a 6-foot appliance cord running behind the coffee maker, because the coffee maker should be sitting near an outlet.
Correct.
That's the way kitchens are designed. Jack, of course, this upsets Jack. He's like, what? It's a small cord? Why don't I have 6 feet of cord here? I want to be able to plug my machine in anywhere. And it's sort of like, well, it's not designed for that function, Jack. And actually dangling 6 feet of appliance cord across, people would be tempted to run it across their stoves or do
their
crazy
sink.
things with it. Or,
yeah,
or
like you just don't want that to happen.
Right. Most appliances only have a 24-inch cord anyway. Our air fryer that we have has that. The toaster oven that we have has that.
The Instant Pot. You name it. It has that. You don't want to have like a long cord for that kind of thing.
You notice so if you notice as you get past like the later part of the video, you'll see after he hits that awkward jump cut in the middle of it, which, by the way, of course, Jack's production value is always subpar. I don't know if we want to talk about that.
At some point, we'll really delve deep into that, but I don't think it'll be this episode. We're just getting into the guts of it here.
There's nothing off the baseline here. I mean, obviously, the audio is recorded on board, so it's usually it's off access. It's being recorded across a room, probably by the onboard mic of the camcorder.
The video's never in focus. It's fuzzy. It's
low resolution. Somehow he's getting a low resolution image.
Backlit or frontlit, I'm not really sure, but
he's frontlit.
Frontlit, thank you.
If we want to get into that, so he has two. They look like 1 foot by 1 foot light panels or small Kinaflows. He's got two small, obviously LED or fluorescent light instruments. You could see reflecting off the thing behind him, off the microwave. And there's a high gloss reflection off one of the cabinets.
Yeah, the cabinets are high glass, so high gloss. I'm sorry, that's a problem.
somebody told him, hey, you should have, or from a video he watched, somebody told him you should have more than one light in the front of you to knock out harsh shadows. But he doesn't know the traditional key plus fill over fill ratio of the lighting, so his lighting ratio is completely flat. It's way too bright. He hasn't done anything to soften the light. I think he's just using the LED, which may come with a frost panel in front of it. Some of them do, some of them don't. He has barn doors, but the barn doors are completely open because there's a cascading amount of light on the bottom cabinets as there is on the top. And of course, he has no idea about reflections because he has a stainless steel stove, backsplash, and microwave, and he's pointing the light at it. If you would put that light about 1.5 feet to the left, camera frame right, you wouldn't have that. It would be just reflecting off the cabinet.
As a dissertation or a aside, we're both former TV people, so we're extremely critical of audio production, video production, lighting, any kind of video framing. Like we're super nerds and geeks when it comes to that. So I mean, for production quality, for him doing it himself, which I think he does now, I mean, I don't know if it was always that. It is decent, but it was a lot better a couple years ago, and I don't know what may have changed, because there's been production companies that have been in the intro.
He's worked with professional video production companies before.
Yeah, I don't know if he's fired them. I don't really know what's going on with that.
Well, he did move once or twice, but what he seems to be now, I mean, the production quality, as fair and middling as it was, really fell off about a year ago, about 12 months ago. And all the videos of the past year have been. It looks like he's trying to edit it himself too, and whatever he's editing in, when he renders it out, he's not using proper rendering settings. There's something off.
Yeah.
So when he goes to upload it to YouTube, it's not uploading at the proper. There's something
the
weird.
Frame rate is not right. I don't really know what it is.
There's something weird about it. It's a lower quality image than it's a lower quality image than you could typically get out of anything you plan. If he records it with an iPhone, if he records it with a camcorder he picks up at Walmart, if he orders something off of any camcorder with autofocus, any decent camera is going to take a better quality image right now. Like the default.
Yeah, it's really fuzzy. It's really I don't know what else to say other than it looks fuzzy. It's not
low resolution. There's a resolution issue going on. It's not the focus. You can see in the video the camera's lens is picking up the grain of the wood, so it's not blurry per se. You can actually see the lines of the grain, but the lines of the grain, the pixels making up the lines of the grain, are really big. So this is indicative of video footage that's been run through either different codecs and he doesn't realize it. So the camera might be shooting in one codec and he's transcoding it to a different codec when he renders it out. Again, who knows how he's obviously not working with professionals anymore. Who knows what application he's doing this on?
I don't even know what to say. It's boomer TV at its finest. Let's just put it that way.
It falls under the category of, just because you have the technology and you have the drive to create these things, you still have to have some idea of quality behind it. YouTube has proven that. Lots of YouTubers don't have professional video recording backgrounds, but they get better over time. The thing with Jack is he's gotten worse over time.
He's not self-aware enough to know this, and when people point it out to him, he blocks them or he shuts off his comments. Like, I give other examples, like binging with Babish. I've watched him transform over the course of the time I've watched him. Maybe a year, maybe 2 years. I'm not really sure when I picked up on him. I watched Noreen, Cooking with Noreen, or Noreen's Kitchen. I forget what her name is. But while her production quality might not be up there, her recipe quality is. And it's a trade-off. Sometimes people have the really good background of production, but maybe not so much cooking. Or they have the cooking background, but maybe not so much the production. he has neither of those things. Like,
but he also doesn't have, and this comes to the core element, and this is kind of what this show is about. And if you think we're just talking trash about another YouTuber or another media creator, what gets us about Jack more than anyone is the unwillingness to self-critique. Most people who do this admit freely that, hey, if I start a YouTube channel or if I start something, it's not going to be great, but I'm going to keep at it, I'm going to learn, I'm going to do what I have to do, and I'll keep making it until it gets consistently better. Jack has this inflated opinion of himself that he doesn't see the difference between the quality of his show and someone else, and he has that the fatal flaw that he makes, the tragic fatal flaw that he makes, is him saying, well, just because I'm doing it, it's going to be just as good as anybody else's. And the sad part is, it's not a level playing field like that. You have to commit yourself to quality, you have to commit yourself to learn, and you have to be able to take criticism. Doesn't matter what you do in the quote-unquote show business or performing arts world, you have to learn to take criticism, and not as a personal insult, because that's why he turns off his commenters, but as someone pointing some constructive criticism out to you to help you get better.
Well, I think one of the good prime examples of what you're talking about is the video of him demonstrating to his audience the proper technique on how to cut an onion. And you could watch a million YouTubers, professional chefs, whatever. Each has their own technique for cutting onions. And some of them, they're mostly along the same lines. Like, you slice the ends off, and then you slice it inside, and then you slice it down, and then you have little chunks, and it's beautiful. And he tries to do that, but doesn't do a very good job at it. And then after the fact, recognizes he doesn't do a good job at it. But instead of like re-recording the video, knowing full well that he's failed at it as much as he has, he's leaving the bad video up because he knows that it's getting views. Whether or not he knows the views are like people laughing at him because, hey, look at this guy who thinks he's like the YouTube chef that knows how to cut an onion, but is failing at it miserably views, versus the, hey, I'm getting good critical information views. And that's the distinction. Like, he's leaving bad videos up of bad cooking techniques because it's bringing in YouTube dollars, not really being self-aware enough to know that it's people on the internet making fun of him or laughing at him or being like, here's what not to do. Here's the not to do version of what you should, like, you know, like the before and after. Like, this is the not to do version of what he's talking about.
And part of that is the most insidious aspect of the Cooking with Jack show, especially the cooking aspect rather than his other channels, is there are some basic guidelines you have to follow for food safety and safe food handling. You know, most of your kitchens have a Serve Safe or a Safe Serve certificate. All commercial kitchens are licensed, and they have to be certified by in Pennsylvania, it's the Department of Agriculture. Other states have some type of board of health. At every level of government, safe food handling is important, because if you prepare food the wrong way, you can be spreading infectious diseases. Chicken has salmonella, most produce can have E. coli due to the fertilizers on it. He seems blissfully unaware of those facts as he prepares his food. And when people point it out to him and tell him, look, some of the videos you have demonstrate poor food handling safety, he just leaves the video up because he's like, oh, I'm not a professional chef, I'm a professional YouTuber. And as a YouTuber, what I want is more views and more subscribers. And it's sort of like, well, you're only getting that as an example of what not to do.
Right.
But that's why he doesn't care, because again, he's not offering himself as a chef, even though he has tons of cooking videos. So he's literally trying to have it both ways and say, well, you know, I'm showing you an example of what to do, because that's why you typically watch cooking tutorial. You know, unless you're looking for a laugh and you want to watch somebody who's so horribly bad at it.
And I've heard people do that too, but Jack's, I think his shtick is, I make cooking videos for the average guy. Well, the average guy, may want to take some shortcuts and things and get get to the end result quicker. I get that. But not at the safety of killing your family by serving them pink chicken like that. And that's why I'm called Pink Chicken. I'm referring to a YouTube video. If you search Jack Scalfani, pink chicken, or undercooked chicken, or chicken in a bag, you'll come up with the video that I'm talking about. He's using a seasoned bag from McCormick, which I've used several times for pork chops and chicken and all kinds of things. And they've come out fine. You just really have to sit and watch them. It basically steams the meat product, whatever it is that you're making, in a bag. Which you can achieve the same thing by, using broth and random seasonings, and then using like a baking dish, a chafing dish, and then covering it with aluminum foil. And it works just the same. But he does this, and I don't know if he was using not the right cut of meat. I'm not sure. Without looking at the bag and the directions, I couldn't tell you because I haven't made it in a while. But the chicken comes out raw, like bloody raw, and he's like, "Oh, just put it in the microwave for a minute. It'll be fine." No, that's kind of not how chicken works, Jack. I'm sorry to say. But, there's got to be a line somewhere on YouTube. Leaving videos up that could kill somebody because of the way you're cooking something it's got to be something that YouTube looks at. Maybe I'm hoping at some point in time. I really don't know, but... Well,
this ties into it, because what happens is, and the reason I'm called Lazy Man is because he offers these sets of videos for the lazy man. Meaning that someone who probably doesn't have a lot of skill in the kitchen. And so a person tuning in to his channels to learn how to cook or to watch a video, he's offering them two things. Number one, that he will show you how to prepare the food if you don't have a lot of skill, if you don't have a lot of kitchen knowledge. Well, part of that basic kitchen knowledge that not only is he not teaching you, he's actually teaching you the opposite of, is basic safe food handling. So this is where it gets a little bit creepy, in that if he's not going to show you how to, and he's not going to correct his mistakes. If he said, "Okay guys, we pulled the chicken out and oh my god, it's so pink, there's still blood running out of it." And
it's rare chicken.
Yeah, they don't serve that because it could kill people. So if he owned up to any of his mistakes, so two things going on. Number one, he makes a lot of mistakes in basic, say, food handling. Number two, he does not own up to them, nor does he correct them on camera. Going back to my zookeeper analogy, this is basically him saying, anyone can be a professional snake handler here. Go to this Amazon where I'm reselling through Amazon Marketplace some rattlesnake eggs. Take them home, put them in your microwave, heat them up for a minute, put them under a bed, and in about a week, a baby rattlesnake will hatch. And then we'll go on to our next video and show you how to raise them when they come out of there. If you follow those instructions, and he doesn't give you any warning like, by the way, don't do step 1 until I show you step 2, how to contain the baby rattlesnake. He's leaving out crucial information here. And then if you call him on it and someone says, "Oh my god, Jack, I did what you said in your first video. I got the egg, I put it under my couch, I let it, and all of a sudden I have small rattlesnake in my apartment." And then he says, "Well, because of my faith, I pray for you, sir. Lord, heaven help you with that baby rattlesnake." He's not owning up to the fact that you have a baby rattlesnake in your apartment because he told you to. Like, he's not owning up to his mistakes. He's not showing you how to correct them online. And he's not listening to people who are offering criticism saying, look, is it an outside chance that people might die from this? But there's a good chance they'll get sick.
There was a channel, and I think it was like Drunk Cooking or something along those lines. But they were like, they got really drunk and they cooked, and they didn't know what they were doing, and they came out with pink chicken, or they undercooked stuff. But it was funny and people embraced it and they knew it was a joke. Like, you understood the satire. This is like, he's taking it so seriously. Own up to the fact that you made the mistake so that you're not killing somebody, or you're not giving bad advice, or make it a comedy show. Make it put like, "Oh man, I screwed up again, ha ha ha, I'm Jack," like that kind of thing. Put that into it, so you're like, okay, so I messed up, here's the retake, here's me doing it correctly. You have that opportunity. You're not doing it live. If it was live, that would be a whole different story, because we've all been there. Well, me and you have, at least, anyway. But at least you have the opportunity to edit the correct thing in there. You have the opportunity to correct your mistakes. But he doesn't do that. And then he turns off the comments, and he's just inviting that negativity in by disabling them, I feel like. And I don't know what the answer is for that. I mean, people have trolls no matter what happens, but the quicker you embrace them and move on, or try to, put a positive spin on the trolling, the better off I think things would be for him and his viewers.
Well, that gets to the point. He's trying to have his tragically underdone, perhaps poisonous cake and eat it too. He's trying to offer himself up as a silly YouTube novelty personality who just does things in the kitchen, but at the same time he still wants to be taken seriously as a cook. Because remember, he not only sells cooking implements, he sells his own sauces.
Oh,
so
God.
I don't know how much of the best barbecue sauces he still sells, but there was a time when he was like, not only am I a cook, I'm a barbecue chef. Which again, when at the heart of it, if you offer yourself in a public media, and when you offer yourself in a public medium like YouTube and say I'm a barbecue chef, people are taking you at your word that yes, you have either worked professionally at that or have years of study at it or years of experience at it. And you also have some skill with meat, with cooking meat. You're doing basic food safety, none of which he has. Again, part of this danger trifecta of Jack is he desperately wants the media attention. He has no real idea what he's doing in any of the subject areas that he offers himself up as someone who knows something about it. And he also can't take criticism. He is not self-aware or self-actualized enough to be able to respond to criticism in anything other than shadow banning or outright banning or just ignoring.
And going back, I feel like the reason that he's hungry, craved media attention person is because he came from the media industry. He was a disc jockey in California. And that was, as far as I know, his last job. I mean, he claims he was, is a director of a movie, which I don't know how successful it was. I believe it was an indie film. He had Give Me Media Productions, which was his production company. He has the Best Sauces Ever website. I don't know if that's still active. We kind of got off on a little tangent here. We're going to go back to watching the second of the coffee maker machine reviews. The second one was the Keurig. I think it's the newest model of the Keurig. As far as the other video, we're going to play that now and react to it, and then I think we'll end the episode there.